Hi, my name's AJ Blechner, and I'm a research librarian at the Harvard Law School Library. In today's video, we'll explore the first few steps to take when confronted with a question of foreign law for a jurisdiction you've never researched before. There are some excellent sources that can help you get started. In this video, we'll look at 4 sources: the Brill Foreign Law Guide, Globalex, the Index to Foreign Legal Periodicals, and WorldLII. You can access these resources through the library website by selecting Discover Legal Databases and then clicking on the Foreign and Comparative Law Research tab. First, let's start with the Brill Foreign Law Guide. This resource allows you to learn more about the legal systems of foreign jurisdictions and includes both citations to secondary sources and important legislation, as well as information on where to obtain English translations. You'll access this database using your Harvard key. One of my favorite features of the Foreign Law Guide is that you can search the law of a particular country on a specific subject. For an example, let's look at the Brill Foreign Law Guide for Brazil. We'll find Brazil alphabetically. Once we've selected our jurisdiction, we can get more information about the government, legal system, how to research in this jurisdiction, and links to important primary materials. Make sure to check the last update information for the foreign law guide you're using to be sure that the information in the guide is current. Next, let's see how you can get information for your jurisdiction by topic. Let's say we wanted to learn more about business law in Brazil. If we scroll down within Brazil, we can find business. The guide outlines both prominent secondary sources on the subject, as well as links to important statutes related to business law in Brazil. There are also subtopics within this article, such as agency, branches and subsidiaries, and partnerships. You can use this trick across countries and legal subject areas. Globalex is another great place to find guides on how to research law in a jurisdiction you're unfamiliar with. One great feature of this resource is that it's free and open to the public. To access it, go to nyulawglobal.org. Here, you'll find guides for over 160 countries, as well as comparative and international materials. Let's take a look at the guide for Taiwan. To get the most up-to-date information, make sure to click the link beside your jurisdiction that says Update. Notice how this guide was last updated in 2019. The date of the last update will vary by guide, so always make sure to check that information at the top to see how current your information is. The table of contents can also help you to easily navigate the article and get to the information you need as quickly as possible. Using these guides, you can find insight into the legal systems of these jurisdictions, and that information will help you to determine where to start your research. Often, Globalex contains links to relevant resources. If we wanted to find a judicial decision from Taiwan, for example, we could click Judicial Decisions to get more information about how case opinions are published in this jurisdiction. Notice the links out to relevant databases. Next, we'll take a look at the Index to Foreign Legal Periodicals available through Hein Online. IFLP is an index to articles and book reviews containing over 750 legal journals published worldwide. It provides in-depth coverage of public and private international law and the law of all jurisdictions. Let's look for articles from Denmark. Notice how you can narrow your results by subject on the left-hand side of the screen. This time, we'll look for articles on public administration. From here, we can skim the results to find what we're looking for. Keep in mind that IFLP contains materials in many languages. To limit the languages to those you read, you can use the checkboxes on the left-hand side of the screen. Finally, the World Legal Information Institute, WorldLII, is a collection of online databases that provide access to primary and secondary legal materials from jurisdictions around the world. WorldLII provides less editorial material than Globalex or the Foreign Law Guide, instead providing lists of links to relevant primary and secondary sources for each jurisdiction. Let's take a look at Zambia. Notice the links that are available to the websites of several different courts, as well as the Constitution. You may notice that there are other LII resources advertised here. When in doubt, try Googling your jurisdiction's name and LII. Notice how there's also an AfricaLII. This is another great resource we'd want to employ in learning more about this jurisdiction. Let's review. If you find yourself researching a jurisdiction you're unfamiliar with, start with a guide, such as the Brill Foreign Law Guide or Globalex. Next, look for secondary sources in your jurisdiction, just like you would when doing US legal research. You can find these sources using the index to Foreign Legal Periodicals. Finally, locate both additional secondary sources and direct links to primary sources using WorldLII. Once you've done this preliminary research, you should be well situated to move forward. As always, please remember, law librarians are here to help. If you have questions, please ask us.